Hello, world. This is episode 58 of the Game & Watch podcast. Let's see, and this is a weekly podcast where every Monday we bring you up to date about all the important things that have transpired in the world of gaming over the prior week. This episode is brought to you by Our View Gaming. If you're wondering who the heck Our View Gaming is, you are, we all are. So everyone is Our View Gaming. If you ever seen the movie Fight Club, we are all Tyler Durden. And if you haven't seen the movie Fight Club, go watch it after this episode of the Game & Watch podcast. Let's see. As you can, what I'm trying to say is you can catch this episode on Facebook and all live streaming places, Twitch and YouTube on Monday afternoons, generally at 5 p.m. Pacific. So please like, subscribe, and follow. In order to get notifications and to support this podcast. Additionally, this is a viewer-supported podcast, and that means you can help make this show better by going to our Patreon page at Our View Gaming to donate as little as a $1 per month to help us grow. All right, after getting all that mouthful of words out of the way, let me introduce my podcast colleagues or pod leagues. Leagues. Does that work? Anyway,
No.
we'll stay away from
It was
that.
good. You had good effort there.
How about the Game & Watch crew? That sounds better, but I don't know.
The Game & Watch
Yeah,
crew.
I like that one a little bit better.
I feel like it's too dead on. I think there needs to be a little more niche.
All right, we'll think about it.
Okay,
come up with something, Logan.
I know you will. But that's
Think
okay.
this? Okay.
All right. Well, Too Tall already got one person out of the way. This week we have Logan on the show. Logan, would you want to go ahead and say what's up?
What's up, man?
And then we have Too Tall, or AKA Too Tall, Justin Reed. Go for it. Can you say hello, sir?
Hello, world. Hopefully, you guys are doing well out there.
And do we have at Rio? I can't pronounce your name.
Okay, very few people can. I'll put a phonetic thing somewhere, but just call me Matt. That's perfectly fine.
Okay, we have Matt 007 from Down Under. Matt, let's see. There we go. If you are on our audio, if you're listening to this on our audio podcast, you just missed the 007 pose from Matt. And lastly, I'm OVG, or Our View Gaming. That's actually not my real name or anything like that, but that's what I just tagged for this show and for the branding. But anyway, guys, are you ready to talk some games?
For sure.
Sure.
Sweet.
Like that idea.
Well, let's see. In this episode, we are going to be... It's going to be kind of a different show than our last couple shows. We're just going to talk games and really just go at it. And then after we're done more or less talking about everything that's happened over the last week, we're going to play a little game ourselves. We're going to then do the release rundown. And lastly, we'll talk about what we're playing. But first off, let's see. Gaming news callouts. I got rid of gaming mentions because I just didn't like the name. It might happen again. But anyway, let's see. For this first news article, we have Twitch, and we have, I guess this is kind of a big one. So Twitch is now, their source their source code and everything is now live on the internet. Basically everything about Twitch, who they are, and what they've done, incomes of streamers, just the whole gamut, the whole 10 yards is now live on the internet. Let me go ahead and read this little part real quick from the article that I pulled this from VGC. Let's see. According to VGC, an anonymous hacker has posted 125 gigabit torrent link containing all of Twitch, including its source code and commit history going back to the start. The leak also contains streamers' incomes since 2019 and the information that suggests Amazon-owned streaming platforms, Steam, rival Vapor may really exist. And then there's, of course, much more info, but more importantly, I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about this? How do you feel? I mean, there's a lot of information going into this, so please take it from whatever angle you'd like to. Too Tall, you look severely interested in this article, so how about you start us off?
Yeah. Okay. So like the article said, when I read deeper into it, Twitch has to do better than this. This is just unacceptable for, regardless of if you're making 7 figures on the platform or making nothing on the platform. They can't be doing that. It just makes me think, like, what kind of security are they using? It's just like just very bad for business, very bad for a service. It's, I don't know, just I haven't streamed on there since it happened. I'm really thinking about moving my streaming services to somewhere else. But I mean, if you are on Twitch and you're listening to this, hopefully you did change your password. Just make sure your security is up to date on that 2-step enabling authentication, excuse me. And yeah, just do everything to protect yourself, because this just isn't good, and it's just a loss for everyone that's on there. I mean, just money aside, just personal information's out there, and that's what I'm most upset about.
Well, there has been a few updates since this actually happened, and they have said very specifically that login information for accounts wasn't shared in the leak. So at the very least, you know that if you've got an account, that changing the password would be an obvious thing to do for any kind of breach that you have with a big company like this. But I think people would mostly be concerned about changing stream keys and all of that stuff that people might have information about from this torrent leak. But yeah, you're right. It's never a good thing. But Twitch has come out and said that yes, it has happened, and they're still trying to figure out the extent of it, I think. It's an unfortunate thing.
Yeah, there has been several updates about it, but yeah, Logan, what were you about to say, sir?
Oh, I just think it's funny that like a company owned by one of the most successful companies in the world can't like get enough security that they can't fend off a singular hacker man is kind of weird. But yeah, even if they said the passwords and stuff wasn't leaked, it just change it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't trust them. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not taking no chances at all. Like,
Yeah, I mean, from a leak perspective, my information's been leaked 3 times this year from large companies, that have my passwords and have my information one way or another. So at this point, it's just kind of a regular thing. You can there's websites dedicated to letting you know if your information has been leaked, and most people's has in one form or another. I had to go through and change 58 passwords this year because of leaks. That is a lot, and that's not even all of them. Yeah.
Additionally, don't use those like password website app things where they have like store all of your passwords, because if it can happen to like one of the largest companies in the world, it can happen to a little VPN thingy. So
don't stores your password.
Those.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just write a list.
Yeah, just paper. Come on.
But as far as this article goes, the reason for this, at least from what has been posted or leaked from the hacker. This hack happened because of this, and this is end quote, disgusting, because Twitch is a disgusting toxic cesspool. Let's see, and the motivation for the leak is not only to foster more disruption and competition in online video streaming. They said they have completely pwned them, and Twitch needs to do better. And this is speaking to much of the hate that goes on during streaming, in terms of like why Twitch needs to do better, and why this person felt like they needed to hack them to make Twitch aware that, you know, they need to do better in all aspects of preventing the audience and preventing the streamers from having to go through this and experiencing these hateful people that can pretty much say or do anything, and then takes weeks for them to get banned. So I mean, that's what this article is more about. I mean, okay, yeah, it sucks that everyone's information was leaked in one way or another. Glad that passwords were not leaked. I didn't see that, so that's great to hear. But this is a broader conversation just amongst the internet. I never even told you guys, but on episode 55, we got our first racist comment.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Yeah, I saw it.
It was from a person. I don't even know their name. It was like, I hate Jews 666 something, and then they just went into
I saw the comment.
The way that they even created that name in the first place, it baffles my mind. It was through YouTube, and then they posted just a series of hateful comments, and then they dipped. So I mean, it's out there, and it's just like, it needs, there more needs to be done just across all platforms. Just the fact that name was created, and then what do you think is going to be the person's like next move when creating a name that just inspires and inspires hate, and it's just like the worst form of just prejudice and discrimination that you can kind of put out there. But
yeah, that's just terrible, man.
It's not a good
time for that.
And like Twitch has a host of other problems as well. Not to make light of that one, obviously the racist issue has been a prevalent one with Twitch for the last little while, because they would do massive Twitch raids from big racist pools that would be dumped into other people's streams for them to suddenly start dropping all those comments, right? And there's been a lot of backlash in the LGBTQIA plus, I think, community about the way that they deal with the tagging of certain creators and certain streams, which has led to a lot of that stuff as well. But I think they've made a bit of progress with Twitch so far. But there's a whole host of other things, like people's streams being taken down for music issues with DMCA, and talking about making progress with the music industry, but they're really not getting anywhere.
They're not.
I feel like that's like more of a problem with like the music industry and copyright in general than Twitch.
It probably is, but I think it's endemic of all these platforms.
Yeah,
the big companies that make lots and lots and lots of money with an open platform, which is, open for everybody to use, and you can stream games, which technically would be copyrighted material as well.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand.
Didn't Naughty Dog not allow any of their games to be streamed? Or they did something with that. They would take down a lot of YouTube videos like The Last of Us.
Yeah, with this generation of games, I mean, they could actually control, at least directly from the console, what games can be streamed, and which games can't. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. But yeah, I mean, there's kind of like a untold partnership between gamers and, streamers and things like that, where it's kind of free marketing for them in terms, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it's kind of like it spoils a lot of the game for a lot of people. And then there's just a whole discussion around that about people not completing games, about people not buying games because they've seen the game, and there's a lot of back and
Yep.
forth there. But I
Hmm.
not to get off topic. I mean, Twitch is they are making leaps and bounds. It's just this person felt that they didn't feel like they were being heard and their voice was being heard, and wanted to bring it more into light for people to have these conversations. We wouldn't be talking about it otherwise.
Yeah.
No.
True
So-
that.
Even though we probably should have up to this point, as you rightly said, a couple of episodes back, we get a racist comment.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is stuff that we need to talk about more often than we probably do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm gonna move on because all that heartbreaking stuff I just wanted to get out of the way initially, so we can definitely have those conversations more in the future. But I could not leave this out of the news articles today. Switch OLED is now live for you to purchase at your local retailer or Amazon or whatever website or that you do, Walmart, Best Buy. And I have a review roundup here, and I'll go ahead and jump into that in a couple minutes. But I'm going to start off by saying that I went out this morning. Let me start off by saying I went to all the websites, all the ones I just named and other ones, to see if I can purchase a Switch OLED the day it went live, I believe, which was the 8th, just to see how ordering is going to go, if it's even available and things like that. Not necessarily that I was going to buy one. It was completely unavailable everywhere within within minutes. I don't know who got them. I don't know how many.
I know someone who
What's
got
that?
one.
Oh, that's good. Well, they did better than me. And then I went to Nintendo's webpage because they're doing, you have to have an account in order to purchase one through their website. So I was like, cool, I will, try to go through Nintendo and see if I can get one. Nintendo's page was posting an error message for a good portion of the day because so many people were on their website trying to purchase one. I got the good 503 error that
That
appears.
503.
Yeah, that appears so commonly when a website has issues, especially with traffic. So that was down. So I obviously didn't get one there. I went to Best Buy and I went to GameStop. No luck, nothing there, no inventory there. But I could purchase a regular Switch, just a Switch 2.0 if I wanted to. And the Switch Lights were also available. But that was my experience. So it's obviously selling, at least where I'm at. But how do you guys view this?
Do you think it's selling, or do you think they made too few of them, anticipating that there wouldn't be a large audience looking to upgrade?
I think it's a little bit
mean-
of everything. Because
Yeah.
if I go into every major retail website and I'm not able to purchase one the day of, that tells me like, hey, I mean, there's obviously a larger pool of people trying to go to those places, and the pool's open to everyone essentially, in your territory. So there's that. Do I feel like it's a manufacturing issue? Yeah, it's something we've talked about almost every episode, leading up to this one. And then it's just, I think it's really all the above. I don't think there's any one particular thing. I definitely feel like maybe this first round they put out maybe like a smaller amount to kind of test the market and see how it goes, because why invest more money into something that's not going to sell as greatly as you want initially, when you have all these other ones that are selling. I mean, because the Switch has been hard to get. They've had higher sales year over year. So come this November and this December, we will find out if that stands. And Switch has sold better than any other console for a majority of the last 2 years. But yeah, your guys' opinions. I've
Yeah.
spoken this enough.
Yeah.
But
I think more of them are coming. Maybe there wasn't very many this go round, but I do know someone who did get one. I think he has a hookup. I need to ask him, but I mean, I know there weren't very many pre-orders going out for the thing. At least not that I knew of, anyway. So I feel that if you want one by the holidays, you will get one. I don't think it's going to be in super high demand like the PS5 and Xbox Series X or S, but I mean, I just say be patient. If you're listening or watching us, I'm just going to tell you this right now: do not pay the scalpers, please.
I wanted to bring that up because they could be manufacturing a more demanding market to try and inflate the price a little bit. Because
Yeah.
if they bought them all up, they're going to be able to sell them, and they'll be able to sell them full price. So guaranteed, they won't lose their money. The scalpers, that is, they won't lose their money if they sell them at the price they would get at the retailer. But if there's an opportunity for a bit of inflation there, they would take it, and they're set
Yeah.
up for it. PS5s and Xboxes, they've been
Yeah.
doing that for ages already.
Yeah.
It's really
well,
frustrating.
I think if you don't have a Switch, then it's a really good deal. It's like $50 more than what a normal Switch would cost, and you get like a better screen, a bigger screen. They improve like the kickstand, and then the dock has like Ethernet now. I feel like that's all of the changes.
Yep.
Yeah, that
For 50
dock would
bucks.
be that dock would be the
If-
main reason. Mm.
Yeah, because dude, playing Super Smash Bros. Sometimes on regular Wi-Fi is not good. So
And
many
that's
error
it.
messages.
Yeah, and that
Oh,
seems
man.
to be quite a few of their games. But overall, I mean, going into this review roundup, the Switch OLED is a hit. So I'm just gonna go ahead and read off a couple of the just overall impressions from a couple of our more popular news sites that gave their feedback on it. So let's see. Let's start off with GameSpot. The Nintendo OLED is a marked improvement over the original Switch. If you play a lot in handheld mode, the OLED model is surprisingly huge. Is a surprisingly huge upgrade. And if you don't play your Switch in handheld mode, the Switch OLED's new screen is impressive enough that it could change that. And that's from Steve Petit. From CNET, we were 4.5 years into the Nintendo Switch's console's life cycle, and there are tons of great games. But also, the Switch clearly lacks the graphics punch of the next-gen consoles like the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Mobile games and iPads keep on getting better. There are a lot of ways to play. The Switch is the Switch is still a wonderful library of Nintendo and indie games and other stuff too, and the stellar family device. But it's just one slice of ever-growing gaming universe. Nintendo hasn't leveled up the console yet. This still has the same processor as before and serves the same audience. Just consider it a revision that's checked a bunch of our wish list features off our list, but not all of them. And I'm going to read this last one. This is from IGN. Let's see. After playing with it for a week, I found that the Nintendo Switch OLED's model, Nintendo Switch OLED models brighter, more vibrant, and slightly larger screen has made me want to take a look, out of the dock mode much more often, and not just when I'm out to travel. I feel more encouraged to lounge around the couch or even in direct sunlight in the yard and play games in handheld mode. The revised kickstand makes playing on any flat surface easier, and the Ethernet enabled dock makes downloads quicker. While it's a tougher sell for current Switch owners, particularly those that most keep their console docked, there are enough revisions to make it an easy recommendation for anyone who doesn't own a Switch already. Taylor Lies from IGN.
So I'm going to put my cynical hat on here. I think a lot of these gaming sites are going to be motivated to get content out there that either potentially drives the sales a tiny bit to get a bit of attention from Nintendo, or they are just looking for a succinct, maybe a situation-based way to talk about all these big things. Because that last one was endemic of all that. In a simple paragraph, it described a situation that you would use it. It talked about the advantages of the Ethernet port and the better screen, especially the non-reflective surface, like playing directly in the sun. That's that's playing directly into that, I think. But I think as consumers, we have to read between the lines on that. Logan said it all before. Better screen, Ethernet port for the dock. What else have you got? The internals aren't better. As a new version of the product for people getting into the Switch market, it will be good.
Yeah.
If you're looking to upgrade, you have to really want those advantages. Otherwise, it's not going to be worth your money, even if it is only $50 more.
I know for me personally, it's just going to be a hard sell because I don't play it in handheld mode that much. So, and it not being more powerful, like I said, the only thing I'd really get it for is just the dock, really. I mean, but you could buy a dock separately. So, I mean, that'd be really the only big thing for me. But I mean, for me, it's just going to be a tough sell. I mean, even though I've had my Switch 4 years now, I mean, I could use a refurbished one or like, a fresh one. And, with the deal GameStop's giving, if I can sell my current one for $220 and, pay only like $130 for it, I mean, then maybe why not? I mean, it's just something I'd have to like really think about though. I mean, I don't need it.
Yeah.
If that makes
Should we
sense.
talk about
And for
4K
this,
Switch now?
Yeah, for the OLED one, they.
What was that?
Yeah, well, technically, yeah. I feel like they didn't fix any of the problems that the old Switch had, so I don't know. Like, the battery would just deteriorate again. Well, I guess did they fix the Joy-Cons a little bit? They created new ones, did they not?
They're
They have,
improving.
yeah.
don't
So
know.
they've said they've consistently improved the Joy-Cons over the life cycle of the Switch. And they said these Joy-Cons are the most improved ones since the iteration of the Switch, and they're going to continue to work on them to improve them. However, they haven't said how they improved them. They haven't said when they improved them. And there's been several lawsuits against Nintendo in terms of the Joy-Cons. And I feel like them saying that is in response to people asking about it prior to this console releasing, because there was a lot of negative press about it where they have never said this before. They've had 4 years to say that, hey, we've improved the Joy-Cons. Hey, you should see drift less often. Hey, our due to all the issues that we've been having and everything, we've been making small improvements to make Joy-Con drift less of a thing. And they haven't said that. But when their new $350 OLED Switch is about to come out, and there's a lot of negative press about the Joy-Cons being the exact same, which all these outlets did ask them about. Like, that was like the number one question through all these outlets that did interviews with them. They refused to comment on it. But now they decided to comment.
So doubtful that they did anything then.
I don't think they've done shit personally.
It's tough to say. They just, there's something there's just something there. I mean, what's an improvement? Did they change the plastic? Did they maybe, I don't know, add something? I don't, I can't really speak to the internals of a Joy-Con, but like, what are those improvements? How did you improve it? You like just saying like we've improved it, that's so subjective. Like, that could mean a billion things and it could actually do nothing. So
with all confidence for them, they do want to get in front of it a little bit, because they had to bring in that program to replace Joy-Cons, I think, initially when the Switch first came out, which was them directly addressing the drift issue. So maybe getting out ahead of it means that it has been disclosed to a point that this drift may still be present, though it is also improved. It may reduce their liability in not having to spool up some sort of program of work that could be costing them money in order to fix those Joy-Cons. But it could be a placebo effect too. Like if they say that in the marketing, people are going to go in thinking, oh, okay, this is improved. And they might not pick it up as fast.
Yeah.
That's more in the
wow, these are so
psychological
much
element, though.
better.
That's not the switch to
Yeah.
Yeah. So they just sit on it, wait, and they go, oh, maybe it's just me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not drift.
Yeah.
I just need to be better with my thumbs or whatever.
Yeah.
What they need to do for the Joy-Cons, I just want to see some bigger buttons on there. That's all. I got big hands. Just
Sorry, man. You're not getting bigger controllers. You better just continue to buy those Pro controllers.
Seems like they could do that though.
No.
Like the joins on the side of the Switch shouldn't dictate the size of the Joy-Con, right? If you wanted to get
there's an infinite number of possibilities that they could attach to the side of the Switch. But they just haven't taken advantage of it. I mean,
I think accessibility would be the biggest thing there.
Yeah, pretty much.
You broaden your audience a little bit. Not saying that it's an accessibility issue for you, Too Tall, but being able to make the controller bigger is sometimes an advantage for those who would otherwise struggle with it.
Yeah, well, for my Joy-Cons, when I do play it in handheld mode, I got a third party. I forget the name of the company, but yeah, I got some third party Joy-Cons. I'll show it to you toward the end of the show, but yeah.
Cool. All right, and there was one thing I did want to touch on, just in terms of the selling of the Switch OLED and how it's been kind of perceived and thought about and talked about so far. So just going back to the Switch OLED, I think what we're seeing here is very reminiscent of not like Nintendo not releasing a new iteration of hardware as far as a console goes. I really see this being them releasing the Nintendo DS, that structure. So where we saw like a lot of very just minor details and minor upgrades. We had the Nintendo DS, we had the Nintendo DS Lite, we had the Nintendo DSi, and then we had the Nintendo DSi XL. There were just such minor improvements, and I think pretty much everyone that keeps on asking for a Switch Pro or a better Switch or a 4K Switch or things like that. I think we're very much so going to see more of a trickle out and Nintendo continuing to milk it as much as they can. Because I mean, with the Nintendo DS, even though they're all different SKUs, they're all considered the same console overall, and that's the number one handheld family of all time. Just for that reason, because the minor changes didn't constitute as a total new iteration of a handheld. So I think you'll see the same thing with the Switch. I think possibly with the demand, it may push some of those improvements to be moved up in the pipeline. But I think that's where a lot of people are missing what's going on here. And
it's a double-edged sword, though, isn't it? If you sell more products in those small incremental cycles, are you telling the company making them that you want better products, or are you saying I'm happy to buy things in an incremental fashion, so they increment even more, and all of a sudden we get more iterations?
Yeah, definitely the second one.
Which goes against the consumer advice that goes out a lot now. Pay with your hip pocket. Withdraw the money if you want to show support for a product. Sorry, that's the other way around. Pay the money for the product if you want to see it, but don't pay the money if you don't. In the second scenario described there, you have to not pay your money to show them you want better things in the product, which doesn't make sense to them. So they kind of get you in a catch-22, I think. I think you're right.
Well, yeah. It's going to be hard not to pay for something shiny and new.
Yeah.
Especially when your old one's breaking down because it's been so long since
Yeah.
since the last iteration, like in Tutal's case.
But that is a big
Yeah.
question, though. Like the one being asked at the moment is, do I buy the OLED or do I wait until the Switch Pro or whatever the bigger model with the upgraded guts and stuff like that?
It's a tough decision.
I mean,
it
if they
really is.
Yeah, if they release a 4K one, they'll have to increase the internals or make them better, rather.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, there was one article a little while ago that that opined that 4K may be on the horizon, regardless, considering I think it was the HDMI port has the capacity for 4K. So we might run into a Bluetooth headphone situation where they build in 4K via the firmware in a couple of years, as opposed to releasing it with the product. Unlikely.
Okay.
Unless they want to build an obsolescence like they do with phones. But
I think that's very unlikely, but I think it is possible.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for your input on the Nintendo Switch OLED. Let's keep it moving. All right. So next off, let's see. I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory, but PlayStation is making it more difficult for you to purchase PS3 games and PlayStation Vita games in the store, and they are going to drop all credit card support, and you will only be able to pay via PayPal or gift cards through the store in order to purchase games. Oh gosh. Okay. So yeah, this is, I'm not surprised, but
they're
see.
slowly just trying to take it away. That's all they're trying to do.
Why? Okay, maybe I'm the only one confused. Why would this happen? Why would they not want to sell more games?
A little while ago, they did say that they were starting to shut down PS3 services. I mean, the PS Vita has always been on the chopping block for a very, very long time, I think. It cops a lot of criticism as well as a lot of fanfare that may or may not be deserved. But this is a step in the direction of shutting down the platform and moving people into the new console. And this would be a step for them to try and save some money, I think, in my perspective.
I definitely misread this then.
Yeah.
I thought it was meaning that you couldn't purchase PS3 games on the new consoles. Okay. All right. I think I understand a little bit more. Still weird.
No worries. So yeah, as Matt was saying, hopefully that is the case. Hopefully that they're doing this in order to, just kind of take. Well, let me start over. So hopefully they're doing this in order to save a little bit of money on the end, because them making the money through the stores isn't equating to them providing the services. Like, it's not matching up. And as a financial standpoint, they're removing features from the store that make more sense to them, like paying through credit cards, whatever they have to pay some money to Citibank or American Express or whatever.
Okay.
Like each sale or something. I don't know if they have to do that, but let's say they do. And they're able to save a good amount of money by not having those paid services through those other companies and paying through a gift card or PayPal. They're able to save X amount of money.
I see.
The other way this could be looked at is earlier this year, PlayStation said that they were going to close down the stores for the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation Vita. And there was all the fanfare and all the feedback and all the angry gamers and everything. And they said, whoa, we'll turn it around. We're going to keep it open.
There was a lot of backlash there.
there was a lot of backlash there. I mean, up to last year, there was still games coming out for the Vita. So there were still developers making games, and the developers did not even know that they were going to close down the store. So they were like, well, we just spent all this time making this game, and now they're closing the store in order for you to get the game. So we're going to have to stop making this game, and we just lost out on thousands and thousands of dollars, however much that may be. But to my point, what I'm trying to say is, which I hope this isn't the case, but PlayStation is making it more difficult for the fans to purchase the games and go through the store. So the next time they do say, hey, we're closing down the store, they won't get as much. They won't get as much, feedback and
Okay.
angry fans.
Baby
So
steps.
that's me being cynical. Hopefully,
I
that's
think
not the case. Yeah.
I think that's right on the money because they're setting things up for a way to transfer their audience from PS3 and Vita into PS4. That's the headline of it. They're reducing the ways that you can pay, and if people don't have a PayPal account or they're not willing to buy a gift card, that's going to remove their access to the store. So they're going to start looking at other ways to get at these games. On
Gotcha.
the
Okay.
other side of it, they're also converting the audience that are willing to pay into a format that translates to other areas of the store as well. Like if you pay in gift cards, that's going to contribute to your PlayStation wallet. They usually call it a wallet. And
Wallet.
you can then spend that money on other bits of the ecosystem too. So when you do get that PS4
Gotcha.
and you're starting to think about, buying more games, I bought a gift card for the PS3 store. Now I can use some of that money to spend on the PS4 store as well. So I think it is baby steps. They're looking to convert their audience in a way that saves them a little bit of money, and also with the appearance of saving the audience a bit of money and maybe some of that that transitional cost as well.
Interesting.
So I don't think it's fully synced.
Yeah. I don't think they're doing it till the end of the month, but I think around October 27th. So if you guys are listening to the podcast now, if you want to buy something off those stores without having to go through a gift card or the wallet or PayPal or whatever, just go on the store, just buy what you want until I'll just say start now if you got the money for it.
I think that was the advice that went out at the declaration of the stores and the servers being taken down as well.
Yeah.
Buy what you can. So hopefully they've done it already. But yeah.
All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next article. But this one's kind of self-explanatory. But and I think it was actually Too Tall or Justin that actually got this correct after last week's episode. But correct me if I'm wrong.
I was hoping it was rumors that I was reading that I've been hearing Sora, but I was hoping it wasn't true. But yeah, I guess I was right.
Well, with that intro, yes, Sora is the last character for Super Smash Brothers. Masahiro Sakurai, at long last, unveiled the 82nd character, I believe, on the roster, which will be the last character. So hopefully he gets a
82
wonderful
characters. Wow,
Yeah,
I didn't realize it was that many.
a wonderful, nice long break, and that's including me characters, I believe, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I mean, Justin, you already kind of just spilled the beans on how you feel about Sora being the last character in Smash Brothers. Matt, Logan, are you guys happy? Sad? Hoping for Waluigi?
I think
Yeah,
Madness
well,
was.
Waluigi is already over, unfortunately. I wish.
I think it's great because not only do I not have a Switch and do I not play Super Smash Brothers, but I am a Kingdom Hearts fan. I played it back in the day, Kingdom Hearts 1 when it came out, Kingdom Hearts 2. Unfortunately, I haven't had the opportunity to dive into all of the games. I did play Kingdom Hearts 3, I think, last year when I had an opportunity, if it was a little bit cheaper. I think Sora's cool. I think it'll bring in a different kind of audience into Super Smash Bros. I'd say that's probably what they're gunning for with it. People who have the emotional feelings and their tie-in and attachment to the game. It's going to bring them into a new kind of game environment, a new ecosystem to try and tackle. Because at this stage, I don't think Kingdom Hearts has been released on the Switch at all. Even though it has made its way to PC, still hasn't made its way onto the Nintendo products yet.
But it is coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's coming, is it?
Via the cloud. Via the cloud.
Yeah, via the cloud. So you won't be able to purchase any physical copies or digital copies. But this was when they did announce this. They on the back end, they announced that Kingdom Hearts, the collection, is now coming to the Switch via the cloud. So we don't know how it's going to run. We'll see, because every other game via the cloud has been junk So
Well,
I wouldn't take your chances with the people. I mean, even if you're connected right next to your modem or whatever with cloud, I wouldn't do it. And I do think one Kingdom Hearts game was for either the DS or 3DS. I could be wrong, but so I think it has made
yeah,
its way to Nintendo products. But
I told a lie there. Chain of
uh,
Memories, the interstitial game between 1 and 2 was on Game Boy. That's how old it is, though.
Okay.
Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 were both on PS2. So for cloud gaming, maybe that's the perfect environment for it, where it's not very powerful, doesn't require too much, and the data needed to emulate it on something like a Switch in the smaller screen style. Maybe that would be perfect.
but they're using the remastered versions that came out on the PlayStation. So it's not like it's not like you're playing the original. Well, of course it's a remaster. So I don't know if the Switch could even handle those. Which is one reason why it's coming on on the cloud, because there's no way it could fit on your Switch, more or less run on your Switch without some back end help.
Maybe they put The Witcher 3 on the Switch.
And it was horrible.
Yeah,
Did
but you can dive into the settings and tweak them, can't you? There was like a hack or a mod someone put on.
I guess. I mean, I wouldn't play it on the Switch.
Anyway,
I've seen the
all I know is
comparisons. Yeah.
Perfect to my point. As soon as Justin started talking about just be cautious, cloud gaming, that triggered me as a Kingdom Hearts fan. I'm like, you're telling people not to play Kingdom Hearts? How dare you? It's an excellent game. It's emotionally rending. You feel so attached to the characters. How could you do that to Sora? That's immediately what I thought of when you started saying that, and it was without my input, consciously at all. I think that's the point that I was making before, that I reckon it'll bring in new audiences. And look, I'm sure they'll sort out the collection. If it does turn out to be good, I suggest you give it a try. That's a Matt recommendation. 007, whatever. I don't know if James Bond recommend things. I don't know. But yeah, give Kingdom Hearts a go. If you're a Final Fantasy fan, Kingdom Hearts.
I would say go ahead and definitely try the Kingdom Hearts trilogy or saga or just the games in general. But I would say go ahead and buy it on PlayStation, because it is still cheaper to play on PlayStation. You can get it on multiple sales right now. Sony's having their on PlayStation Network. They're having their Japan sale, or whatever Japanese game sale. You can buy it, the entire trilogy, for $20. This game is not going to be $20 when it sells on the Switch, even if it's cloud gaming.
Never.
Yeah, never.
No.
So if you're trying to save $1, I would recommend that. But in terms of this announcement, super excited for the announcement. Sora, I think, is a perfect character to match all these other characters, to just be, side by side with Mario, Pikachu, just, and Marth and everyone else in this game. But what I think this means to me even more so is the culmination of like almost a new genre. I know back in the day we got PlayStation All-Stars, where they brought all the PlayStation characters in this game. But with this game being finally finished, we just got Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, and that comes with like all these Nickelodeon characters, and it's just so refreshing when a game doesn't have to make sense, and you can just bring all your favorite characters in a game, and whether they're like, of course, these are all fighting games, but like just being able to enjoy that nostalgia, that feeling of seeing and playing your favorite characters that you haven't seen in years, that haven't had a game dedicated to them in years, and just being able to experience that all over again. Like, I mean, just speaking back to the Nickelodeon Brawl, I'm just going to call it Nickelodeon fight game.
Nickelodeon Fight Club.
Yeah. I mean, just being able to play like Reptar and Korra and Aang in that game, or even the Ninja Turtles, or Ren and Stimpy, like, that game just seems like so much fun, and maybe someday we can get like I know this will never happen, but like a Nickelodeon Brawl All Stars versus Smash Brothers, like just like I don't know, it's just so much fun to see these mashup of characters is all I'm trying to really say, and I just really enjoy that experience, and enjoy them bringing back characters that we necessarily don't get to see every day or every year.
Yeah, true that for sure.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, let's see. I
disagreement
think I think we can go ahead and move on to our next topic. And let's see what's going on here. This one is something about Death Stranding. If my page loads. All right. So Sony is offering free trials for Death Stranding and Sackboy in the UK. So Black Cat Celine, we're looking at you to try these out. So you can respectively try these games for about 5 or 6 hours, but this looks like something that Sony is trying right now and might bring to other places. While you can play demos in the PlayStation Store, this is kind of a new thing just directly from Sony that they're doing, versus like the developers allowing you to play the games. So, I mean, are we excited about this? Do we see any potential in this potential demo session? Tutal, I would love to hear from you.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, Sackboy is a very good game. Haven't played all the way through it yet, but it's a very good game. If they're going to give it to you for 5 hours, definitely try it out. I mean, Sackboy, loads of fun, especially you have a little one running around the house and they love video games. It's a cute 3D platformer. I think anyone that plays it would like it a lot. Death Stranding, on the other hand, I mean, well, they are giving you 6 hours, so I guess any game that you get to play for a set amount of time, whether you think you'll like it or don't like it, just take advantage. Just take advantage. Just play the games, and that's what I would encourage in this situation. Definitely play the games. If you like it, go out, buy it, support the developers, support the console you're playing on. Otherwise, just if you don't like it, hey, at least you could say I gave it a try. It's just not a game for me.
I think Death Stranding is one of those games, though.
Yeah.
It's one
Yeah.
where you look on the box and you're kind of like, I don't know.
Mm.
And so you have to give it a go.
Yeah. Sackboy, I think it would be more worth it, but I mean, you could just go buy it too, because Sackboy is a pretty fun game. A lot to do in it.
But they're both Sony produced. They're not third party produced, are they?
No.
Yeah, they're both Sony
'Cause-
produced.
Yeah. So that would be the motivation, I think, to get it on the store, and that they wouldn't have to jump through many hoops to make that happen, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to something like Tekken or whatever else
So-
might be around.
There was one important piece of information that I left out just for fun, because I'm that type of guy. So these downloads, so the timing, your 5 or 6 hour session actually starts the moment you start downloading the game. So
Are you
that's
serious?
No way. So
Yeah,
if you have just garbage internet, you're done then.
If you have dial up, forget it.
you're done. You might
So you're getting like 30 minutes on Death Stranding? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, quite possibly. And Death Stranding very much is a game where it gets fun in the later half of the game.
That's what I was thinking. I thought it was more like a long-term single player game than like something you enjoy in a couple hours.
Yeah, it's like Tutal was saying earlier. Sackboy definitely might be more worth it. Because you can play a good chunk of that game. However, Death Stranding, in very much in the way that these demos could bring people in, not getting enough hours into Death Stranding, I can see deterring people. They play,
Yeah.
they get like they download it. The download takes 2 hours, whatever, and then they get 4 hours of
80
playtime.
gigabytes. So
Yeah,
Also, we're talking about a Kojima game here. It's not going to be 4 hours of playtime. It'll be maybe 3
Yeah,
hours of
it's supposed-
watching cinematics and then an hour of game.
Yeah, for
exactly.
sure.
So-
Does it work like that on Steam, Matt? Like when you purchase a game, like if does it start from the moment you download the game, like with your 2-hour return policy? I'm just
No,
wondering.
you have to be in the game.
Okay.
Yeah. You need to
yeah,
kick
yeah.
it off to start it, and then
Okay.
it's 2 hours of playtime of that game. So
Yeah.
technically, you could jump in and out a few times, and time wouldn't really be a factor there, unless
Okay.
you were.
And well, I
pumping
think
all of
it's
that
48 hours after you buy the game to refund it. Correct?
that or 2 hours of gameplay. I think
Yeah.
it might be 2 weeks
Okay.
actually. I don't know. I don't want to speak to it
2
with
weeks.
your guys' experience because the Australian store experience. I think I talked about it on a previous podcast.
It's bad.
Because of the requirements, the consumer requirements in Australia, it's going to be a little bit
Mm.
different to what you guys get. I'd say because
Okay.
ours, I think, are a lot stronger than the US might be. But
Yeah.
they do release demos on Steam still. And I wanted to ask that because I don't think it was present in the article that was shared before we came here today. Is it going to be condensed, basically 6-hour or 5-hour versions of those games that you're downloading, or is it just the full product?
It's the full product.
Oh.
Okay. In that
So
case,
it does.
Because the way Steam does
It does save
demos,
your
like
save state. Yeah. So
No,
it
go
does save
ahead,
your
go ahead.
save state. So if you choose to buy the game, you will continue exactly where you left off in your demo. So
Makes
that's just
sense.
quick note. But I'm sorry, Logan, what were you saying?
like the Steam demos, like the last batch of demos we had was like for all these indie games that we're releasing later, and they're like specifically targeted for you to complete them in like a certain amount of time. So I feel like that model's definitely better because then you like
Oh,
No, your internet's dropping, Logan. We can't hear you.
this is
Any further?
precisely the problem people can run into downloading the game, though. Unexpected internet trouble. You're whiling away your 5 to 6 hours.
And then you're stuck. Hey, Logan, if you can hear me, I'm going to go ahead and drop you from the podcast real quick, and then you can enter at your convenience, okay? Thank you. We'll see you soon. All right. So we will go ahead and jump into our next topic. Let's see. It looks like we have Logan back. Welcome back, sir.
am I back?
You are back.
You
are
are
not.
back.
Okay, I think my
You
internet
are.
just cut out. Like, yeah, it's fine. Okay,
You were officially a red bar.
Yeah,
which
you're a
that's
frozen.
cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully, my face was adequate.
It was only in the best position. We love your face. It was
That's right.
great.
We
Okay.
figured it out, Logan. You started downloading Death Stranding as soon as we mentioned this topic. So
Yeah. Definitely my type of game. Carrying a backpack around for 20 hours.
Yep.
Yep. That's pretty much the summary of the game.
Post-apocalyptic postie simulator. Perfect.
All right, guys. And now moving on to our next topic, or not topic, but article. Let's see. So Game Informer, they have hands-on with Saints Row, and they have provided hands-on impressions. They also did a 84 question rapid fire interview with the developers of the game. And the reason why I brought this particular game in was because a couple episodes back when they announced it, we reported on just the amount of hate that the developers were getting for bringing Saints Row back and not being what a fan would call true to the series. There's no Johnny Gat, and well, at least none that we know of at this time, or the other characters. So we are in a new town with new characters. So yeah, did any of you guys have an opportunity to look at any of the questions or the impressions or anything that I've listed here?
Before we jump into the discussion of the actual game, I just want to mention that 84 question video. I'm not sure they should have said it was 84, especially when a question was, where is this game based? It's in this place. Is that a desert? Yes, that's a desert. Could you play this game in the desert? Yes. What is a desert? Like, they kept asking the same thing 3 or 4 times in a row. It was clearly planned. So I think it was more like a 30 question summary video. But anyway, that's just a gripe I've got.
Well, what
hashtag
is a
journalism.
desert? I mean,
Well, I mean, from what I was reading, it's in the southwest of the United States. So I'm thinking like California, Arizona. It's in a desert. Vegas, so it's like somewhere there, like a town that
Mexico, yeah.
would resemble that area. So
yeah, that
I
resembles that
mean,
area. It's not the
yeah,
actual city. Yeah.
yeah, it's not the actual
It's-
city, no. But,
no.
I mean, I'm a little upset. I think they, I'm a big Saints Row fan, as you know, this finest. Um, I, I'm going to be very skeptical. I mean, I'm not always um against change if they do it correctly. Now, if they don't do it correctly, then I'm gonna be a bit upset. But maybe I think they should have stuck to Steelport or Stillwater. I mean, I don't think there was really. I mean, I see why they needed to reboot the series because the fourth one just got really ridiculous, especially that Johnny got out of hell game. Yeah, that was just. I think it got really out there. I mean, so I see why they wanted to reboot the series, but I think they could have just did it in a different way, in my opinion. So that's all I want to speak on there for. But I mean, I'm curious to see what they do, and I mean, the new features look good. The gameplay, from what I've seen so far, looks good. So I mean, I'm definitely gonna buy it. So, and then you'll get my
Wait, I'm
full
so
review.
confused. You
Yeah, me
just
too.
you just went from saying like you're not excited about it and just kind of like undermining
There-
the game, and if they do it
Yeah.
right, then of course. But then you said you're definitely gonna buy the game. Justin,
Well,
please tell us more. I'm so confused right now.
I'm
He
a
may
big
return
fan.
it.
I'm a big fan. I'm every
Okay.
Saint Row game I've played, I have not been disappointed.
hmm
So you're unsure. You will definitely purchase it though.
Yeah, I will definitely purchase it. I guess you can kind of say it's one of those blind purchases I'm just going to make.
You are their favorite
No.
type of consumer.
Yeah, are you gonna pre-order that?
You
Didn't say I
see
was
the
gonna
name and
pre-order
you
it.
just buy it regardless of looking at the game and
That's okay.
really
Look,
purchasing
it's okay. It's okay though. I would buy Kingdom Hearts
No.
4. I would
No.
do it. We're all out there. But that's okay. If you're a big fan, I think it's all right. I think it's
Actually,
all right.
yeah,
And
no, I agree because I know some games that I would buy instantly if they made more. Oh, well,
Yeah.
whatever.
they made more of the games.
No, more of trailers actually. Yes, more games.
All
Yeah.
right. I mean, for me in particular, I mean, it's more of just a wait and see. Um, I mean, yeah, I love Saints Row 3. I love
That was the best
beating Justin with a dildo in the game.
one.
You know,
The co-op
and
was
then
fun. Co-op was
yeah,
fun.
and the co-op was great, which they are gonna have in this one. And yeah, I mean, they really speak to that in terms of just like, hey, like the developers very much were like, we had so much fun in the old Saints Row games, just connecting with your friends or your friend and just going around and creating insanity. I just looking forward to seeing how they do that in their own way. In this town, it's called Saint Eliso, and yeah, like, is it going to be because like Saints Row was like very almost like over the top, like in a lot of ways, like sexual and explosions. It was almost like a Michael
Mhm.
Bay movie.
But it crescendoed to that, didn't it? Because Saints Row 1
Yeah,
and 2
no.
weren't like
Yeah, Saints
the
Row 1
following.
and 2 were more serious.
Yeah, it's like more of like a gangster type of game, like almost like San
Yeah.
Andreas, like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and then
Yeah.
it progressively, got more crazy.
And it sounds like this one is going to be a bit more measured in that way too. You're not going to have superpowers. I think
No.
from what I watched of that 84 question video, there won't be any marital aids featured as weapons. So
Yeah,
they
yeah,
might
they
be
did.
dialing it back a little bit. But
They
maybe to
they
escalate
are.
it a little bit later on.
I feel like like from what I'm seeing so far, there's definitely dialing it back in order to definitely grounded a bit more. I feel like it's going to be over the top, like in kind of like we were speaking to earlier, just in the explosion sense. But they're not brandishing, you know, crazy sexual visual aids in order just to do it, just to say like this is that game, and just to provide that kind of water cooler talk. This, yeah, they're fans of the game, Saints Row game though, so I'm just excited what they bring to the table. And they always could bring that via downloads later. So
Yeah, for sure.
The XXX DLC.
yes,
Maybe they will bring in Johnny Gat after all. So yeah, we'll have to just wait and see.
Yeah. They'd have to like hat tip to that old story, I'd say.
I think it's almost a must. I have to, like, if you're taking someone's name, you know, you kind of have to, like, you know, bring a little of the old to the new.
Cool.
Sweet. All right, guys. Well, let's see. Guardians of the Galaxy. Just by a raise of eyebrows, who is gonna purchase this game within the first couple weeks?
Fortunately,
No.
I am not going to be able
I
to,
don't think so.
just because of time, really. It looks like it's going to be, you know, a 40, 50-hour game. I don't think I've got the time available to me at this stage. Not sure I would either. I'm a little bit undecided on how it's going to feel. Like it's a far throw away from the movies, and doesn't look like it's an Insomniac game, but has
Square
yet to prove
Enix.
itself. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I'm shocked that this soundtrack, because this soundtrack is killer, didn't turn you guys, you know, didn't bring you to the Guardians dark side. I mean, we have artists such as Blondie Call Me, Blue Oyster Cult, Hot Chocolate, Everyone's Winner. Let's see, we have Europe,
Bonnie
the
Tyler.
Final Countdown. Yeah, I mean, we just
Def
have
Leppard, Loverboy.
we have Kiss, I Love It, I
Classics.
Love It Loud. Like, we have so the soundtrack is there, is all I'm trying to say. Like, the soundtrack is
It's gonna have some great music. Be
Yeah.
careful if you're streaming it though
Yeah.
on Twitch, because they might give you, you know, a DMCA strike. So yeah, just be very careful there.
yeah, they don't even in
They'd have
the
to.
trailers they showed so far, they've taken their own music out. So you haven't heard
Yeah.
any of this music during the actual trailers and stuff that they showed.
Mhm.
So yeah, you probably shouldn't Twitch stream this game or stream it whatsoever unless you
Mm.
They'd have
replace
to
the
have a
background.
streamer mode. They've got to have a streamer
Yeah.
mode.
Or you could just turn
I
it
think
turn it
most
off,
games
or just mute it or turn it
Ugh.
off or something. That'd be the only way to really stream it if you want to stream it. But yeah. Unless you want to get in trouble, then that's on.
It's Twitch.
For
But-
me, this game is a real consideration. The soundtrack is matching up. I just love a good single player game. You know, where I don't have to do co-op or feel like I need to do co-op, or if I don't have to manage multiple characters. Like, it's not an RPG. It very, very much reminds me of almost like Final Fantasy VII Remake,
Mhm.
you know, where you're taking Cloud on your run, but then you're kind of managing the characters in the background. And I loved that game. So, I mean, for me, I can very much see myself buying this game. The soundtrack is there. And now, I mean, the last thing is just the gameplay, me getting my hands on it and experiencing the gameplay and hoping it all connects. Because right now, everything is pretty much there. They said they're going to have cosmetics, so you can change the look of your characters if you don't like the aesthetics that they brought. But I'm actually a fan of the character models. I think they all look good. I like Drax much better than the Guardians of the Galaxy Drax from the movies. Gamora, I think looks awesome. I love her white armor, and I love the contrast and style there. Peter was the only one that hair was just really bothering me. And it's not like I want him to look more like the movie. I just want him to look less how he looks in this game.
Pretty boy Quill. Yep.
Yeah. And then Rocket and Groot seemed like they were on point. Very reminiscent of the comic versions. Yeah, so I'm pretty stoked for this game, but I'm a big comic nerd. I love comics. I have a ton of them right here in the corner, just piling dust. So that's where I'm coming from.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely for sure. I mean, we'll see how it does. I mean, it definitely I think will be in consideration for. I don't want to get too off topic here when I say this game of the year, but it is one of those big AAA titles that are coming. So I mean, if you're looking for a big AAA title to play, if you got the 40-50 hours to get into it, by all means, go for it.
Agreed. I couldn't say it any better myself. All right, guys. So we're on our last couple topics. So I hope you saved a little room for yourselves. But last two topics we're going to be talking about. We already did the Switch OLED review roundup, but we're going to go ahead and do a Metroid Dread, and we're going to do Far Cry 6. I'm going to change the order of this because I feel like Metroid Dread is the more. Oh.
Someone's watching a trailer.
Sorry, that was me.
I thought it was Logan.
No, hey, no,
That
not
was
me.
that was totally me. Let's see, bringing up those review roundups. But since we had that happen, let's just go ahead and talk about Metroid Dread. Let's see. So, quick review roundup. I'm not going to go ahead and reading any of the articles just yet, but from what I'm seeing thus far, it seems to be relatively liked amongst the gaming review community. Let's see. So, does anyone in particular want to start this one off?
Okay. Not so much the review of the game itself, but I mean, this is just a general question. I know we talked this last week a little bit. Do you think this will be the highest selling Metroid game of all time?
Yes.
In other words, do you think it'll get more than 3 million units?
Yeah.
Okay.
I reckon so.
I mean,
It would have to.
just by
'Cause
numbers.
Yeah, I mean, Finest just talked about him going out to a store and not being able to pick one up, but seeing a Switch OLED box, picking that up, and then going, I need a game for this thing, and seeing a Metroid box there.
Yeah.
The consumers who aren't as discerning will put those two products together as something that they want to purchase, I'd say. So that's going to be a big driver of sales, but it has to get there, right? Based on the conversation on the podcast last week and what people have been saying, it seems like the previous Metroid games haven't been as engaging as the older ones, and this is a return to form. So while not having played a Metroid game in its entirety before and not having many Nintendo products myself, just the general tenor of it seems to be pretty strongly in favor of this one. Would you all agree?
Yeah, I would say so. I think it's definitely going to release, or it's going to sell the most out of any of them, just because it's a new Metroid game that looks new, and then I feel like a lot of people that haven't played a Metroid game before will probably pick it up and play it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I was saying earlier, it's just a numbers game. You think back to Metroid on the Game Boy, at that time, I mean, how many people were really gamers? How many people were gaming on a Game Boy, and how many people had accessibility to games? I mean, Game Boy games were, at that time, they were like $60-$70. And then, there's I don't even know how many Game Boys were sold. Maybe like less than 100,000. I don't know. I would have to look up the numbers, but I mean, despite that, like if you look at console sold, the
118 million.
118 million. Yeah, I was way off. But yeah, no, just looking at the numbers where we are with the number of Switches sold, and this being a new Metroid, and the amount of people that had Nintendo 64s when Metroid came out, the people that had Nintendos when Metroid came out, the people that had Game Boys when Metroid came out, the Switch far exceeds console sold in all respects. So I mean, if we're talking about selling 3 million units on the Switches, I mean, what is that like?
Easy.
Yeah,
it's like easy.
The Switch is what, like around 80 million sold right now?
Maybe 90.
I think it's more than that.
Maybe 90 million.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, 89 million.
Yeah, 89 million. So
Yeah,
I
I think
mean,
didn't we do the math last time? How many people
Yeah.
would need to buy Metroid
Like
Dread?
I think you said 4% last week. So about 4%
Yeah.
of Switch owners would have to buy the Switch, which is about about 5 million at the most. Like
God, I
Yeah.
missed a
over.
lot last week. You guys,
Yeah,
I
we're
swear.
into math now, actually.
Yeah. But it seems like an easy conversion,
Yeah.
especially with Metroid being a notoriously Nintendo game. I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's going to happen.
Perfect. And they were selling bundles on like BestBuy.com and GameStop. So
Yeah,
There you
if
go.
you want that,
Sweet.
if you want that Switch OLED, you're probably going to be getting Metroid Dread, so it'll probably just get there by default. If you really think about it,
Yeah.
I gotta buy this game I'm not gonna play. Like, but I got my Switch OLED.
Yeah, I got the Switch. So what?
It's but there's been a big resurgence, I think, since the last Metroid game came out
Mhm.
of games that would class themselves as Metroidvanias. And people may be wondering what a Metroidvania is in its most distilled sense. The fact that Castlevania is coming out with remastered versions
Yeah.
as well as a new Metroid, that's like it's bringing the genre back to its roots. So that
Yeah.
could drive some sales too.
That definitely. I mean, I think a lot of people miss that type of game too. And Metroid Returns or Metroid Samus Returns, Metroid 2 remake that they put on the 3DS. That was highly ignored because the Switch had just come out. So I don't think a lot of people dipped into that game that they would have that a lot of people would have liked to. I mean, maybe they might
Yeah.
bring it to the Switch later on. I mean, I have it on my 3DS myself. I picked it up just recently, so and it's a pretty good game for the most part, but I think a lot of people would rather, play it in console mode as opposed to just on a handheld. It's a very good remake, by the way. If you guys haven't tried it out, definitely try it out.
Yeah.
Oh
And,
yeah,
I mean,
it did not sell at all.
Yeah, like
It sold
it
30,000.
Yeah, it didn't.
Oh,
really
30,000 the debut week. Oh, it sold more than whatever. It did not sell nearly as much as this one will.
yeah. And then there was like games like Metroid Federation that was on the 3DS that like wasn't even a
Oh, yeah.
Metroid game. Like that was like the worst Metroid game of like all time, in my eyes, in my opinion. But let's see. So anyway, I think that's enough Metroid talk since you guys discussed this last week while I wasn't here. Dang it. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, I will never miss an episode again until I miss an episode.
Till next week.
Safe.
Till next week, yeah.
Till next week. Let's see. And then lastly, we have Far Cry 6. So let's see. Hopefully I don't have any audio play as I bring this review roundup up. But yeah, Far Cry 6, it looks as though, let's see, it's doing okay for the most part. Let's see. So I'm going to start off with this from VGC that gave it a 2 out of 5. If you're interested in another Far Cry game that, let's see, that does, let's see, I'm sorry, pardon me one second. If you're interested in another Far Cry game that does the Far Cry stuff the way it's been doing it for the last 10 years, you'll probably have a good time. But if you've already hit your limit with this kind of game, Far Cry 6 is the NE Plus Ultra
So
of
I had to look this up. The Ultra NE Plus is apparently a defined term that means the most of that it could possibly be, basically.
Thank you for
Oh,
looking
yeah.
that up because
I had to. I had no idea what it
That's
was
such a
either.
weird phrase to use. I've never
I saw
heard
it
that.
twice.
Yeah.
Twice in one day. One related to these articles for our show notes.
yeah.
One in a completely different context. So I was like, why have I never heard this before? Anyway, it is the Ultra NE Plus. of Far Cry. Yes.
Okay, that's very My Hero Academia of them, like for putting that up. Let's
Yeah.
see. Some people might get that. Let's see, and then I'll read this one other review. This is from GameSpot, and then it's a review in progress. Far Cry 6 is often a fun game that feels like it's throwing everything at you. And if you want a heap of content, Far Cry 6 absolutely has you covered. In isolation, a lot of elements are fun. Taken together, though, it feels like a lot of disparate things that keep taking your attention back to menus and map icons and away from the fun story. After 2 dozen hours, I'm not sure I want to do all of these things or if I just want to blow stuff up. Which kind of is really that just really speaks to
Yeah.
me for every Far Cry game. It's very much like a Grand Theft Auto type of feeling that I get. I really don't care about the story. I just want to kind of mess things up, destroy things,
Destroy,
for all intents and purposes.
conquer.
Yeah.
I think if anyone is coming to Far Cry 6 and expecting a unique story-driven shooting experience that's going to engage every player, I think they're coming to the wrong game. I think
Yeah.
Far Cry has
Yeah.
figured out what games they like to make, the kind of content that the people who come to them expect, and it's just ridiculous nonsense with engaging villains and essentially just going around shooting stuff. I think if that's not enough for people, it's going to be it's not going to show up as a game that they want to play. And I think that's present in the reviews too. There's a lot of them they've
Yeah.
realized that it's a Far Cry game, so they'll give it an 8 out of 10. But then there's I think it was a VGC, that one that you just read, Vinus,
2 out of
that said-
5.
Yeah, 2 out of 5. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
that-
seem really tired of Far Cry from the ones that I read on the page.
So I'd say it's reviewer bias. I think there's going to be a lot of that here, and it does seem to be split amongst a lot of people from some of the reviews that I've seen for it so
Yeah.
far. But look, it's a Far Cry game.
Yeah,
I mean, you're
but
not
I,
getting dildo bats, but
I think with this particular game in general, especially after the last one, what was it? Far Cry
5.
5.
Oh, wait, no, the one after that.
Is it New Dawn?
Yeah, New Dawn. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I think 5 was actually the one I was thinking of, and that was in like the Himalayas, where they had.
4.
Oh, that was 4.
That was
Gosh,
4. No, 5 was in Montana or something.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I always try to
Montana.
forget. I try to forget that one. So number 4, when they're in the Himalayas,
Mhm.
I feel like with that one, the main people focus, the main thing that people like focused on with that one, they said the villain was so great up until the end, from what I remember. And and I feel like that's almost been a staple of like Far Cry games. Like I feel like number 2, it was a big thing, and number 4, it was really big, and even in number 5, they tried to make it the villain like a main staple. And with this one, bringing in John Esposito, like one of like the ultimate villains, bringing in this live, grade A actor and having him play, the villain he's played so many times, that they were trying to take that story to the next level. And just the whole Cuban rebellion. There's always some type of rebellion going on in Far Cry, but like, just with this particular one, I felt like they were really trying to bring the story. And I mean, I haven't played the game yet, so I can't really speak to it too much, but that's how I perceived it when looking at this particular Far Cry.
I think a lot of the reviews coming out are saying that, getting him in was a really big step in the right direction, but I don't think they gave him a lot to work with in the game. I think that's one of the main objections, that he's looking for scenery to chew and he just can't quite find it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they've leaned a little bit into the Far Cry gameplay is going to be very Far Cry, but the story around it, maybe they're trying to chase the Pagan Min Far Cry 4
Pagan
kind
Min.
of thing.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Far Cry 4 is one of my favorite games of all time. Like for a shooter, which I never used to play before that one, jumped into it, was great. And just Pagan Min in general and his demeanor, it was ridiculously funny. I really enjoyed it. But I think they're probably trying to chase that now. And, they're starting to move further and further away as they start to think that they're getting closer. Maybe if there's going to be a Far Cry 7, they need to do a bit of a rewrite. Maybe get some new people in.
Yeah,
Add
and some
some
new
different
gameplay
elements.
loops. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure, definitely. I mean, me personally for Far Cry 6, I mean, I just got to see more. I could probably see myself getting it later on down the line for like $30 or something like that, like off the PlayStation Store or GameStop. But it's not. I'm not gonna be dropping 60 on it. I'm sorry. Just I'm okay.
Yeah, right now you can buy a Far Cry bundle off the PlayStation Network with the last 3 Far Cry games for like $40. Like,
Oh,
you know.
Yeah.
So if you're
yeah.
looking to,
It seems. Yeah, it seems like a waste to buy the sixth one then if it's like the same thing with better
it's the same-
graphics.
If it's the same concept, then
Yeah.
I can wait.
all right, guys. Well, let's kill this. We've done enough news stories for the day.
hmm
You guys, I know
Okay.
you guys have been anticipating this. Are you guys ready to play this game?
I guess.
Tell us what this game is. I was
Yeah.
very curious when you wrote it. You kind of teased it with absolutely no content. So you're
Okay. So I'll kind of explain the rules for the game on top of explaining what the game is. So it's kind of like catchphrase. So I'm going to do my best impression of a video game catchphrase. Okay.
Oh no.
Oh boy. Oh.
And then all you have to do is raise your hand if you know the answer. Do not say the answer out loud, okay? And then on a countdown, I will have everyone say their answer, okay? You get an extra
no.
point. You get a point if you get the person correct, okay? Or I'm sorry, if you get the game correct. You get a point if you get the game correct after you raise your hand and tell me. But then you'll get an extra point if you type in the answer of the name of the character in our chat box below.
so
Oh,
we're gonna spell
okay.
it right. Is that the
Alright.
Yeah,
thing?
spelling counts. Yes,
Oh no.
spelling counts.
All right.
Okay. All
I
right.
fooled
So
myself. I don't know these.
Well,
This is
All
going to
right.
be
we'll
interesting.
see.
If you're listening to the
is.
audio podcast, this might be a time to head over to the YouTube version on the live stream.
Yeah, that's what I was
See
thinking.
how many
yeah.
hands go up.
Very
I mean,
much.
I-
So I
have a
have
hard
all
time
the
audibly raising my hand. So
I have all the clips here on my laptop. So after we go over the answers and we hear my horrible impressions and everything, I'll actually play the audio clip for the audio listeners to actually hear it also. Okay.
All right. Sounds fair.
All
Let's do it.
right. So let's see, and then I'll also give a little quick recap about what the game is about and everything and stuff like that. But the first couple are going to be super easy. Let's see.
Okay.
So finish him, flawless victory. Okay, I got one hand. 2, 3. Okay, so we all know the answer. On the count of 3, give me the answer. 1, 2, 3.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right, perfect. And that one, of course, you're not going to have necessarily a name because it's just the announcer in the background.
What if we type announcer? Surely that counts.
there wouldn't be any point for that one, but
Oh,
Oh
Yeah.
man. Oh.
fatality.
so not all of them will have it, but here it goes. Here goes the audio clip. Let's see. Let me start that from the beginning. There we go.
Flawless victory. Fatality.
Okay, perfect. And then let's see. So for Mortal Kombat was developed by Midway Games in 1992. Mortal Kombat quickly set the gaming world ablaze with its violence and gruesome character deaths. So that's it. That's essentially the game. So right now,
Easy.
keep track of your own points because I'm handling a couple other things on my end over here. So right now, Matt has like 50,000 trillion points. But yeah, everyone should have 3 points right now. All right. So now I'm going on to the next one. All right. The cake is a lie.
Oh wait.
No. I'm at a
Okay.
loss. No.
So it looks like we only have one person with the answer.
Oh! I remember this. Okay.
Okay. So on the count of 3, give me your answer. 1, 2, 3.
Portal.
All right, perfect. So this is
I
from
didn't know
Portal.
that one.
Portal was released in 2007 as part of Valve's Orange Box, and it instantly became a gaming classic because of its clever Portal gimmick and amazing vocal performance by Ellen McLean, who was GLaDOS.
Hello,
Yeah.
and again, welcome to the Aperture Science Computer Aided Enrichment Center. We hope your brief detention in the relaxation vault has been a pleasant one.
All right, there we go. There's little GLaDOS for everyone. So yeah,
Awesome.
perfect. Good job,
Fun
guys.
Average-
fact, her
Yes.
voice also featured in that very same tenor in Pacific Rim. If you ever
Oh.
listen back to it again,
Oh,
there's
wow,
a
really?
computer-generated voice there that is pretty much GLaDOS.
Oh, that's
And-
cool.
And listen in.
And she was also in
I-
something else recently. Oh, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I originally raised my hand for Minecraft, and I felt like an idiot because it's an achievement in that game. Is
That's
it
the
not?
thing. It's a bit of
Yeah.
gaming internet lore at this stage. The cake is a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see that comment everywhere.
All right, guys. And
Next one.
here we go for the next one. Objection.
Oh, I know. I think I know this one.
Oh, no way. I don't know.
Okay, so I got one hand. You guys got 5, 4, 3. Oh, don't say the answer, Matt. I'm just saying. Are you guys?
No,
you guys
I'm
don't know?
good. And
Okay.
I know I've heard
No
it.
idea.
But I know
All
I've heard
right,
it
Matt.
somewhere,
Go
but
ahead
that's-
and give us the answer, please.
Ace Attorney.
Yes.
Oh,
By any chance, do you know the name of this character? I know you didn't type anything in.
I have no idea. I just
Okay.
know who you were driving. I know Celine would be the one who would be.
Yeah,
answering.
Celine probably
Oh,
would've
yeah.
Yes.
nailed
yes.
this one. So-
That one was definitely for Celine. We're thinking about you, even though you're not here.
Yep. I'll just.
that was him saying his objection. Let's see, maybe not the best audio quality for that one, but anyway, Phoenix Wright. Let's see, or basically Phoenix Wright has said this out loud at least once, or I'm sorry, every fan in Phoenix Wright has said this out loud at least once in a series well known for its twist-packed courtroom dramas. The lawyers on both sides are guaranteed to be flinging this challenge around with varying levels of success. But yeah, that's Phoenix Wright from Ace Attorney. I think we said it was. I don't know. I forgot. I forgot
Yeah,
already.
Ace
Ace
Attorney.
Attorney.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I hope it's right.
Yeah.
Getting
So
points.
Yeah.
I'm giving you the points. So
Awesome.
let's see. All right, and moving on to the next one. Let's see. Okay. It's high noon.
Oh, wait. Oh, is my there? We go.
Yeah, I see your hand. Okay, so-
Controversial one, maybe. I reckon I'm
Mm.
going to get this wrong.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get it wrong, but I think I'm just gonna.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
same.
everyone has their hands up. So in 3, 2, 1.
Overwatch?
Red Dead Redemption.
Doesn't McCree say it?
One of those two.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's see. Logan, you can go
Yeah, I'm a
ahead and give
gamer.
yourself an extra point. And Matt
Yeah.
and Logan both got the answer right.
Mm.
I'm just giving the extra point because he actually just said the name.
So
Oh.
controversial.
Yeah.
Because they are changing McCree's name because it was tied to one of the executives or one of the lead producers of the game that was caught up in the allegations in the current lawsuit. So
So that'll be an Overwatch 2.
no, they're changing McCree.
Yeah, I heard they were changing the
In the
name.
regular game?
In
Oh,
game.
Yeah,
that's kind of weird.
Yeah, but
What
they
are they
haven't done
gonna-
it. Yeah, in Overwatch 2, they would do that because they haven't
Yeah.
done it yet.
No, they're changing it
no, they're
current
changing it in
Overwatch.
the,
Oh,
In
they're
the-
changing
in the
it.
current game.
Okay.
I mean, it'll be changed in Overwatch 2 if it's changed in this one.
Yeah,
They will definitely change it there as well. But anyway,
good note.
I'm glad I got it right.
Yeah, he says it so much better than me. I'm gonna play that back again.
It's high noon.
All right, perfect.
Is this a secret advertisement for yourself doing some vocal work in games? Is that what we're doing here?
Yeah, so don't forget to hire me.
Here's my show
Yeah.
reel.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. You guys are all part of my master plan.
Oh, no. I knew it.
Let's see. And then I won't even read about that one. We gave enough fun facts about Overwatch. See, this next one is going to be a sinker, hopefully for all of you. But you never know, I guess. So, Hadouken!
Oh, I know this.
that was pretty bad. But I'm glad all of you got it. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
Street Fighter.
Street Fighter. And
Yeah.
then didn't
Ryu.
Ryu say it? Yeah, Ryu.
No idea.
Justin, I don't know if I can give you that one.
Nah, don't give it to me.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. So Ryu,
Ryu.
and his iconic Hadouken. Let's see. Our famous hand gestures. They form as they speak verbally to the Hadouken. Yeah. That's pretty much it, really. But it's from Street Fighter. So nice job, guys. Let's see. I believe I don't even know who's in the lead. Matt. I know it's not you, Justin. Sorry.
No.
Matt Logan.
I think
How
I
many
got
points
one
you got?
question above you guys. Was it 3 points per correct game? Is that what
Yeah.
you were going with?
2. There's 2 possible points per question.
Oh,
So
2.
I have 4. So I have 4. No.
Okay, so I got.
You got Overwatch McCree.
You got
and
an
then
extra point.
you
then, I
got
think.
Phoenix. You got Phoenix Wright and Ace Attorney. Matt. So you have 6 altogether, and then there would have been 1. Oh, there was also. Let's see. Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3.
I think I know Matt's
4,
definitely
5.
winning. I just don't know how many.
So yeah,
points I have.
there's 7 points.
Matt's winning.
7 points altogether that are possible right now.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm in the lead just because I got an extra question off you guys.
Yeah.
So good. That's great. What do I win?
Oh, terrible.
Well, we have a couple more. Okay, so you can still be passed
okay.
up. Let's see. It looks like there's 4 more. Okay, so we'll do these quickly. I won't do any more feedback on the games or information about the games. We'll just finish this up. Let's see. All right, this one goes. I've got balls of steel.
No idea.
Have you been listening to my personal podcast?
No, are you serious?
No, absolutely not. It's such a generic line, though. What would it be from?
Yeah.
All right. So it doesn't look like
Yeah,
anyone has
no.
this one. So I'm going to go ahead and play the clip and let me know if you guys can figure it out from there.
I've got balls of steel.
Duke Nukem.
There we go. There we
Oh.
go.
I've got balls of steel. Yep.
There we
Okay,
go.
okay.
So
Hail to
Matt,
the king, baby.
he's taking a decisive lead with this. Or actually, no, you don't get the
Oh,
point.
yeah. Do I get
No.
the point? No.
You don't get
no.
the point.
No.
But I'm still impressed that you recognize it once you actually heard the voice actor. So that's great.
Yeah.
All right.
Iconic.
Here's the next one. He's on fire.
Oh, wow.
I know I've heard it. I'm not sure where.
Oh no. Wait.
Ooh. Yeah, I think I gotta hear it again. The real voice actor.
This is not going to translate well to an audio podcast.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right. Here
Is
we
this
go.
from an? Oh,
I'm going to go ahead and play the clip, guys.
He's on fire! He's on fire!
No,
I still have no idea.
no.
It's from NBA Jam. It's the announcer for NBA Jam.
I should have got that one.
Oh, I've never even heard of that game.
You should have went boom chakalaka. Then I would have got it for sure. Oh.
No, because then everyone would have got it. Mm-mm.
He's got balls of steel. Could have been anything.
NBA.
All right.
Okay.
Here we go. There's only 2 more. All right. This one is do a barrel roll. There we
Oh
go.
my
Got
God.
one.
This is an easy one.
I know this is a song.
All right. Here we go. 3, 2,
No idea.
1. Say it, Justin.
Do a barrel roll, Star Fox. 64.
There we go.
Oh.
Slippy.
And Peppy said it.
Yeah, perfect. Peppy said it too.
There you
All
go.
right.
All
And
right.
here goes the last one, guys. Let's see. Okay. Whoa, Nelly.
I'm just taking a stab because last question. Don't
No
lose points.
idea. I thought this was just a phrase. I did not know this was.
Yeah,
Go
I
for
think
it,
I
man.
gotta hear it again.
Yeah.
Banjo Kazooie.
Nope. Sorry. My voice acting's
Rayman?
horrible, so I'm not doing not Rayman either. It is a old 2D platformer. And there was actually
Mario.
this
No.
person had a ton of clips. I'll actually play a clip before and see if you guys can figure out what game it is.
Oh, wait, what? Mario 64?
Oh, Nelly!
It is Earthworm Jim.
What?
Oh, Earthworm Jim.
I
No,
wasn't gonna get that.
No, when he
I've never
said
even
Yippee,
heard of this
Yip-
game.
No, when he said Yippee, I thought it was Yippee because Mario does Yippee in
Yeah,
Mario 64.
I know.
But yeah, what's
I haven't
Earthworm Jim?
seen. I haven't seen
Earthworm
Earthworm
Jim,
Jim
I think,
since I was
was-
like 8.
Look, there are so many obvious ones. I couldn't just like make them all obvious. Otherwise, all of you would have all your points right now. So
Yeah,
don't
no,
be,
but
don't be
I
sad.
want all my
That's
points.
all good. I got the Star Fox one. I'll take that. I would have.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
All
I'm happy
right.
with that one.
So I think the winner we can say is Matt.
Yeah.
Thank you for
easy.
playing. Thank you for all for playing. Thank you, Logan. Thank you, Justin.
Oh, of course.
I just wanted to try something different. So I thank you for your
a good one.
participation.
It's good.
That's
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
Themed
Oh.
weeks, perhaps.
Yeah, we could definitely do different games, different weeks. I love it.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. So let's go ahead and finish this episode with the release rundown, and then we'll just talk about what we're playing. This episode actually has been exceptionally long, so I apologize if
You're good.
you're like, whoa, has been a long episode, but I hope you're having fun regardless.
Yeah,
But anyway,
sure.
For the release rundown this week, we have October 8th. We have the Doki Doki Literature Club Plus on PlayStation 5, which we have it on everything. It's on
Yeah,
Xbox
everything.
Series X
Yeah.
and Switch and PC and everything. We have Ori the Collection, October 12th on the Switch. We have Disco Elysium, the Final Cut on Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and the Switch. We have Back for Blood on the 12th also. That's for everything. Let's
But
see.
the
And
Switch.
then, except for the Switch. Thank you very much. And then we have October 14th, the Jackbox Party Pack 8. And then that one is for everything. October 15th, we have Crisis Remastered Trilogy. And it looks like that was going to be on everything. And lastly, we have Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Hinokami Chronicles. Sorry for my pronunciation. I tried. That's all I can say is I tried. And that looks like that's coming to everything. Any highlights for you guys?
Maybe Back for
Mm.
Blood, maybe. But I mean, nothing this week is really jumping at me personally. I mean, I'm just being
Yeah.
honest.
The Ori collection on Switch. Obviously.
Yeah. Ori
we're
would be
talking
fun
about
on
Metroidvania.
Switch.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
also that one also, but the other games, I'm okay.
Yeah, I felt like
Yeah.
Ori kept the Xbox like alive for like a long time. When people would say there's nothing to play on the Xbox, people say, well, there's Ori, and how great of a platformer that is. Let's see.
But
I
the
would also
soundtrack
say
too. Soundtrack's
soundtrack.
epic.
There
Mhm.
we go.
Okay.
And then another game I would have to speak to, except for Ori, would be Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. I think that's going to be more in Celine's realm, but I heard great games about that game. And I believe it's a murder mystery, if I remember correctly. And I heard the story is phenomenal. And it plays like a graphic novel type of game. So
Okay.
that one would be a great one. And then if you remember the old Left 4 Dead series, Back for Blood, it very much is in that realm. And lastly, the Jackbox. I'm not going to pick up any of these. Maybe the Doki Doki Literature Club, but actually, I once the Jackbox Party Pack 8 goes on sale,
Yep.
I'll probably end up
Mhm.
picking up that one because
Yeah.
I purchased 1 through 5, I believe, so far. I believe there's 6 so far.
Yeah. No, I think
there's-
there's.
well,
Is there not?
There's obviously 7 so far because this is number 8.
Yeah,
I think you're talking about the
Yeah.
sales. The sales are starting to creep through the versions a bit. I think 5 was the most recent one to be like
Yeah.
heavily reduced in a sale.
Oh, I see. I
Yeah.
see. I guess what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, because these games add up quickly. But
Oh,
it's
hell yeah,
I
they
love
do.
that they release like a new one pretty much like every year.
Mhm.
You know, because they're just a lot of fun to play with your friends and family.
Yeah,
and
they're
whoever
always
else.
fun.
Yeah,
Shout out to the PC gamers out there. If you want a brand new game to test your current PC build and how far you can push it, the Crisis Remastered trilogy is probably a good way to go.
really.
Oh yeah, Crisis has been the game for over a decade. The one that's meant to completely drain performance on your computer. It's almost like a benchmark
Yeah.
when you're testing PC graphics to see how it can work. And
I did not realize.
I know it
this.
was like 6 years
Yeah.
ago, but I didn't know it still was.
yeah, it's one of the games you pull out, and
Yeah.
and whenever someone has built a new PC, or say reviewers are testing a new build, they would say, "Okay, we've done the Crisis test, and this is the frame rate that we got back. This is the different resolutions that we played the game at, that kind of thing." It is literally a benchmarking tool game. That's basically what it is.
Okay.
I see.
Yeah, and to the point, I think people tested the 3080, the RTX 3080, the most recent NVIDIA
Oh, yeah.
graphics card that came out. They tested the original Crisis Remastered, I think, or the original Crisis, I can't recall. And I think they got 4K at maybe 20 something frames per second or something like that.
That's it.
Yeah. For an old game,
So,
it was ridiculous.
Is this just bad optimization, or is the game just
No,
like
this
so
is-
graphically intense?
This is we give no fucks optimization. They're not
Oh,
optimizing
okay.
anything. All the bits are there for you to customize and change. It's up to you what you want the experience to be like, or if you want to test what like super ultra
Oh,
NE plus is on that game, then you can do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my poor laptop is crying, so maybe not.
All right. Speaking of testing benchmarks and playing games, let's see. Too Tall, what are you playing this week, sir?
Hot Wheels leading the way. I'm still in that right now. It's been a pretty busy week for me at work. So what I love about it is I could just go home, do a quick race or two after I shower or whatever, eat dinner, and then just off to bed. But yeah, it's a pretty quick game. I've gotten through a lot of the campaign already, but it is a grind to get those special cars that everyone wants: the Turtle Party Van, the McLaren. Yeah, you know Logan. Yeah, all those cars.
Yeah,
DeLorean,
Knight Rider. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's tough, but yeah, that's really the only game I've been playing right now. I'm on the fences about getting Metroid Dread. I'm really thinking about it, but we'll have to wait and see.
Mhm.
Nice. For Hot Wheels, I haven't picked it up because been kind of doing other things, and I'm
Oh.
gonna pick it up. I was waiting for Justin to
Ah.
test it out for me.
It's fun. You'll love it.
Yeah,
I love
it's
it.
fun.
Are you
It's-
serious?
It's pretty bare bones right now, but it's fun.
Yeah, from the reviews that I read, everyone was saying like, yeah, it's bare bones. It's a ton of fun, especially if you love Hot Wheels or like arcade racers. And then the online track builder
That's
over
fun.
the next couple months and years is going to really fill out that game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
the only thing right now is the multiplayer, so it's really bad.
Yeah, and
Ooh.
multiplayer could be a little better, but what you could do, they have a lot of content, and it seems like they're going to keep adding a lot of content to this
Yeah.
game. So, like, I'm thinking about getting the season pass in maybe a couple weeks if I want to get some more, playtime out of it.
Okay, possibly a platform. Nice.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, Logan. What about you, man? What have you been playing?
Well, I've had it for a while, but I actually just I've been playing it more recently. It's this like a RTS game called Beyond All Reason. So if you ever played like Supreme Commander, like a while ago, it's kind of a successor of that. So it's this open source free RTS game, and it's really good. And I've been enjoying it for quite a while now. But I've been actually playing the game more this week. So yeah,
Can you tell
if
me a
you like
little bit
lots
more
of
about the game? I have no idea about it.
Yeah, I've
oh,
never
okay,
heard of it.
okay.
I've never heard
So
of it.
essentially, you're thrust onto this map with at least one other opponent, and you've got like these different resource nodes that you can capture, and you're basically trying to build up your army to take over the other person. So it's like any other RTS, but a big like draw of the game is you can have like as many units as you want. So there's no like unit cap, because if you've
Mhm.
ever played like Company Heroes 2 or the first one or like StarCraft, there are these like really limiting unit caps. So the game seems fun. Oh, you get to build up your army, but in reality, it's like these tiny squads. But this game, the maps are huge, and the armies that you can create are really massive, and the optimization like lets you do that. So it's a good game. If you have like some spare time to download something free, I would
Can
recommend
I
it.
ask? Can I ask? Have you ever played Total Annihilation?
Yeah.
It looks exactly like that from what I've found on the website. Some of the
It
units
is.
even look like it.
Yeah, no. It's like Supreme Commander. I think it is also like a successor of Total Annihilation. And it's kind of like in a club with a few other games. It's like Forged Lines Forever, and then there's also Planetary Annihilation Titans, which is on Steam. Uh, but yeah, all really good RTS games. But I've been having a lot of fun with Beyond No Reason the most. So yeah, it's good.
Nice. Thank you. All right.
Thanks for
And
sharing
Matt,
that, man.
what have you been playing, sir?
I've been playing Scarlet Nexus, so my
Oh,
my gameplay has gone down a little bit because I've been busy. But yeah, Scarlet Nexus drew my eye, and it's captured my attention for quite a bit. It's a game like you'd expect, being an anime related RPG. You know, it's got all of the Japanese based story tropes that you'd expect to see in that stuff. The gameplay is excellent. I would I would promote it just for the gameplay, but the story is very engaging as well. It's almost built to be like like an anime TV show that you play through.
huh.
It's a very hard line to draw. Like if you've ever played a Dragon Ball Z game or something like that, blending the story with the gameplay is often very hard. But the way that they've done it in this one is really engaging. So it's hard to describe in a sentence, but um, it's a long game. But I'm starting to get through it, and I'm really enjoying myself, which I haven't said for a very long time about that kind of game. And very quickly, I need to say I jumped into Unsighted, which I think I recommended on our Discord a little while ago as
Mm-hmm.
another humble game released, which is a pixel art style and kind of um, in the same design state as Crimson Son of Flynn was,
Oh.
but it was way too hard to deal with.
Oh.
There's so many moving parts. Like you've got characters and NPCs whose lives work on a timer. So as you play through the game, your game time reduces. So you're inching closer to death, but so does
Oh.
every NPC in the game. So you have resources that can increase their time that they can exist in the world, but you can't give those resources to everybody. So you have to manage NPC alive time as well as your own combat, your own item collection, even the little thing that helps you through the game has its own
Oh,
timer.
way.
So your companion can die,
Oh.
and then you miss out on map prompts. There are some bits of upgrades that close off to you. It's a ridiculous level, like
Yeah.
Dark
Yeah, that
Souls.
just does like
Micromanagement.
not seem fun. Yeah.
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 Didn't feel fun after a while, which is a shame because the combat is really good and the movement, like all that stuff, is perfect.
Mm.
It's just all the elements that you have to manage. It's just way too much for anyone's brain, especially if you're
Yeah.
looking to switch
That's
off
rough.
at the end of a long workday.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Scarlet Nexus and Unsighted. I think I'll keep tackling Scarlet this week.
Nice.
Sounds good.
Let's
What
see.
about you, Finus?
For myself, let's see. I've been playing primarily Kena, or Kenna, Bridge of Spirits. And
Kinda.
yeah, ooh, yeah. No,
Good.
so initially, like I bought the game for PlayStation 4, and I've been playing on the PlayStation 4. There's been a couple of technical issues, game freezing. The graphics are just not good on the PlayStation 4. At least when I first played, there's been 3 updates since I started. The game has gotten a little bit better. There's just a lot of elements that I'm missing from a game that got like so many accolades and like so much praise. I it's definitely a lot of what everyone's been saying in terms of like it feels like a PlayStation 2 game, with modern graphics and gameplay. But for me, that it's not a good feeling. Like I just think about like when I first booted up the game and I started out, and I was just there's no spoilers, but you start off in a cave, and then you just start the game, like, and then you start walking, and there's no rhyme or reason or explanation to why you're this little girl and you started off in a cave. It's just where you start out. And yeah, and then
You want
just
the huge backstory and a big introduction to the world before you start playing.
yeah, I mean, I like a little backstory, like some premise, to who I am and what I'm doing here and why I'm deciding to go on this journey. And like while I've been getting trickles of that, like I'm halfway through the game and I haven't gotten much of any of that so far. Like I get like a little bit here and there, but there I don't care. Like at this point, like I'm like halfway through the game and I just don't care about the character. I'm kind of just like trudging through it. I find myself like turning it off and I'm like, I'll go play Hades. Like where there's like where
Yeah,
there's
you
like
did.
yeah, where there's like just a great story. The gameplay is tough. And it seems like a lot of the moves that I'm getting in the later half of the game, I should have had in the very beginning. The platforming is not good. I wish there was a mantle, like just like in terms of like things that like just annoy me. Like there is a mantle, but the only time you can use the mantle is when you're jumping on the specific parts of like the cliffs, like a very Horizon Zero Dawn, like where it has like the yellow parts, and then you like you could only grab those parts and like you can jump up. But in that game, you can
Okay.
kind of you can climb, you can kind of like janky climb everything. This is like very strict. Like you can have like the smallest ledge, like at the tips of your toes, and you can't jump through it. There's a lot of invisible walls, a lot of like borders. Like it's a very
Ooh.
very linear. It's a very linear game, and for me, like even though it's the company, I forget the developers that make it offhand, but even though it's their first game, I feel like they've gotten a lot of like free passes in that sense. They're just like, oh, like it's their first game, like they're a great animation studio and they're allowed to like do this, and this is a great first try. But no, I'm not giving any passes. Like it's a game. Like these developers obviously played games before this. There's just a lot of things that they're missing. It's just missing the mark, and it's just like small, like a lot of it's small and nuanced stuff, and maybe the game could have like benefited from a little more time in the oven. And especially on PlayStation 4. I feel like everyone that reviewed it played it on PlayStation 5, and they reviewed the PlayStation 5 version because the graphics were not great when I jumped in. I was expecting like wonderful, just mind-blowing graphics from the cinematography studio. It was grainy. My blacks weren't black. I had pixelation so much in the, especially because I bought it day one. And I haven't been able to talk to you. Like I've been like holding like back. I'm like, I'm going to talk about this in the podcast. I'm not going to talk about this on the Discord. But it just, man, it hasn't been a great experience for me. And I know it's not, indicative of everyone's experience. But just to speak to it, one last thought about this. So you can see the trophies for people that completed the first trophy in the game. You pretty much get a trophy as soon as you boot up the game and you defeat the first guy, which is like almost immediately. It's like 5-10 minutes into the game. only I think it was like at that time that first day, it was like only like 26% of people like did that. Like I don't know, and I know that just means
That's pretty bad.
that just means a
Wow.
whole bunch of people bought the game, you know. But
Okay.
even now, I look at my later trophies, like I'm halfway through the game, and like the trophies are only at like at 20-30% on the PlayStation 4. So
Oof.
that like,
Wow.
and I don't know what the sales number are, but just hypothetically, let's say like, yeah, like 10 people bought the game, you know, and like I'm 50% through the game and only 20 to 30% of the people have completed the 5-6 hour mark that I'm at right now. I'm not far. I mean,
Oh,
it's a short game.
Wow. Yeah.
That it tells me like that's on PlayStation 4. So I'm just like, I wonder if like everyone on PlayStation 4 is feeling the way that I'm feeling about the game, that it's not great. It's okay. But yeah, that's where I'm at. So
Well, I guess you can't win with
rough.
all games that we play. I mean, you're gonna have some great experiences, you're gonna have some good ones, and unfortunately, we're gonna have some bad ones. So that's why we got to be very careful on what we choose and what we play, especially as adults. I mean, our time's only limited. You know, we want to make sure we're maximizing the best of our time when it comes to playing games. At least that's my thinking behind it.
yeah, no, of course. And like I
Yeah.
said, there's been 3 updates since I bought the game. The game's only been out for 3 weeks.
Mhm.
Like, and there's been
Yeah.
there's been 3 updates, and it has gotten a little bit better in some respects. So hopefully they continue to patch any of the mistakes, or not mistakes, but any of the issues that they're having with the PS4 version.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Well,
Well,
I've been wanting to pick it up, so that's a good thing, good piece of advice, I guess. I would probably get it on PC, but I might wait for a sale and see if the price drops a little bit.
yeah,
'Cause
I've
Yeah.
$60 in Australia.
okay, yeah, it was
Wow. Yeah.
it's 40 here,
40,
60
yeah,
bucks
40
and
in
all.
the States.
Yeah. I would say yeah, it's a solid $20 game. If
Yeah.
I had to go back and be like, "Oh, should I pick this up?" I think it's a solid $20 about 10-hour game. But on that note, guys, we're going to go ahead and cap the podcast. We just hit the 2-hour mark, so our first 2-hour
Wow.
podcast.
Ooh.
I did not think it was going to be that long, but it is what it is. No yawning.
Well, look, with all my cards on the
Yeah.
table, I'm currently
Yeah.
25 minutes late for work, and it's
Oh, my
early in the
God.
wow,
morning on a
wow.
Monday for me. So
I'm sorry. Okay,
That's-
well, we'll go ahead
that's okay. There's a reason I stayed.
Well, catch us on Patreon. Follow, like, and listen. And yeah, thank you for another episode of the Game and Watch podcast, guys.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Sweet. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
See you all next time.